Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Making Sales Social Live, where today we're going to talk about using your LinkedIn company page to expand your brand. Now, we know that LinkedIn stopped calling them LinkedIn company pages, and they just call them LinkedIn pages, but everybody that we know calls them LinkedIn company pages. So before you send all the hate mail that says you guys don't know what you're talking about, which, you know, with all the hate mail that we get, it'd be hard to find that. We don't get any hate
No,
mail.
I've never had hate mail.
I haven't either, but we understand they're called LinkedIn pages, but sometimes you say LinkedIn pages and people go, huh?
What is that? Yeah.
So it's LinkedIn company pages. So it is a LinkedIn page for your company. And we're going to talk today about using that to expand your brand. So go ahead, Bryn, talk about a little bit about that.
Oh, so you know, you as a human being, when you walk into a networking meeting and you have conversations, it's very similar to having conversations on LinkedIn, right? All of these people, they're all here at this 24/7 networking meeting. And we're talking about content, we're talking about topics that we're interested in. And we try not to pitch. We try not to really share too much about what we do. And, when it comes to sharing, like on the LinkedIn newsfeed. However, the company page, you have a little bit more leeway, right? The company page can brag a little bit more about awards that you've won, about client testimonials. The company page really gives us the opportunity to talk more about our products and services without it feeling salesy, right? As a person, we have to be careful. So there's some great value in having a company page. And let's start with just generally setting one up. Because when you set up a company page, it's very different than setting up your personal page, right? So the first thing that we have to keep in mind is the brand, that we're consistent with the brand. And I believe that it is aligned with your website, and you have to make sure that you have that consistency with the colors and your images and even the text. So a lot of that, right? A lot of that. So talk a little bit about, Bob, we'll start with you. Talk a little bit about how do you align company brand and the LinkedIn page?
Yeah, so I think that it's important to remember that big companies obviously have their pages. Medium companies have their own pages. As an entrepreneur, you can have a company page that is separate because it's the company, as long as you operate under a company name. And sometimes you don't even have to do that. But you should have something in place already where... Again, a lot of echo here. Sorry about that, but we're getting... I'm sorry, the echo totally threw me off.
I'll take over. That's fine.
Yeah, it's like everywhere.
Yeah, we've been having that a lot.
Yeah.
We'll keep moving on. So the company page, right, that anyone can set one up if you have a company and a brand. Just make sure it's consistent. The first thing, and Bill, you can jump in anytime too. The first thing I want to talk about is the banner, right? That's front and center. And we want to make sure that the banner is doing its job. And its job is really almost like a billboard, right? You can change this out if you have events, if you have any kind of, maybe you have a webinar coming up, maybe you've launched a podcast. This is an opportunity to really promote that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and one of the things I'll say is people often say, well, why should I have a company page? I'm a smaller business. But here's the thing, when we're talking about optimizing your personal profile, that headline area right across from your headline, it's going to put your company there. And if you don't have a company page, there'll be no logo. It'll be this pixelated image that they see everywhere else. And it doesn't look legit. And so one of the important reasons to have a company page is so that it can be traced back, so that it's there on your profile and people can find it. And then when they click on it, it'll bring them down to their experience, your experience section. And then when they click on that, it brings them to that company page. And so Bryn talked about the background banner image for your company page, and then also your logo. So rather than having a profile picture, it would be your mug there. It's going to be the logo for your company. And imaging is important. What do they say? A picture paints how many words?
1,000?
1,000 words. And so you want to make sure that you have your imaging correct so that you're using the most of those 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I love that. The next thing is the call to action button. This is very important. You can have it go to a website. You can have it opt into something. You can have, so there are lots of calls to action buttons, right? And you can have sign up. So if you have a library of content or a newsletter, you can have a register button that goes to a particular event. Contact us. I mean, there's a plethora of of options when it comes to that call to action button. So take it seriously. Obviously, there's lots of other areas like, the about and all the other things that we won't bore you too much with. So I think, the bottom line, though, is fill it out, complete it, and then make sure everyone is connected to it. And you're connected to it when the logo that Bill talked about is showing up on your personal profile. That's how you know you've connected to the page. The next thing we're going to talk about is choosing community hashtags. Who wants to tackle that one?
Well, let me just go back, because we may have some folks that are watching that are like, okay, so how do I do this? How do I even start a company page? So if you go to we call it the work waffle. So if you look at the top banner of LinkedIn, right next to the me, you'll see that waffle there with work. If you click on that in the drop down, the very last thing you'll see is create a company page. And LinkedIn does a great job of taking you step by step through that. And it's my turn to have the echo.
Yeah, it's a wonderful day. So, all right, so that's great. So that's how you set that up. The next option is choosing a community hashtag. Bob, why don't you try it again?
Yeah, so take two. Community hashtags are important because, especially when you're sharing, because these are the hashtags that you should be using. They're ones that you choose for your posts should be the same ones that are reflected on your page where it says company hashtag.
All right,
we're going to quickly go through this, and then we're going to do it again. So let me just finish the list for our viewers. We're going to have to try this again without the echo. Community hashtags, we want to put them out there, and we can engage as a company page by clicking through those community hashtags. When we do that, we can engage as a page on any content using that hashtag. We can also invite followers up to 100 a month. And then when people start to follow it, we actually put credit back. And you also have the ability to engage with all of your followers. So we hope you got some value from this, and you have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.